I teach a class about the performance practice of the blues on string instruments. And I think a lot of people have a perspective that you have to grow up with this music. You have to listen to, I mean, you do have to listen to the music a lot, but you have to grow up with this music. It has to be in your native language. You have to be a person of color to play this music. And it's just not true. There is a literal language. There's a performance practice of this style of music. And it is very freeing in a way, because there is a certain sense that there's no such thing as a bad sound. It's not that you're not intentional about the sounds, but there is a place for this. You know, there's a place for you know, and you get to rock, you literally rock out, and you get to have fun, and you get to use the pont zone. You get to use overpressure, the way under pressure, you know, and those are thought to be bad, quote unquote, bad sounds, but they're actually quite expressive, and you can use them, especially in chamber music playing. Like you would maybe never, if you're playing a solo piece, you might never be that far out on the fingerboard when you're playing something like that, but that'll really help a first violin or inner second violin line pop out. Anyway, so this piece is highly rhythmically generated. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it comes from a sense of rhythm, and it comes from a sense of backbeat. I
see, yeah.
So it it can, that while we think of rhythm and sound and dynamics, we think of those as like separate things, but they're actually quite within a. If you're really feeling the backbeat of the thing, you start to hear rhythm in a note that is a long note. And while that comes from doing like slow bow work and doing all that stuff, but it also comes from feeling the rhythm a certain type of way. And that sense of rhythm can also inform your sound choices. So for example, you know, as opposed to. So in addition to coming up with a general sound, so maybe the vibrato doesn't start at the beginning of that B flat.
That makes sense.
Even though our training says every note should be vibrated equally and it should be totally even, right? That's not. So maybe, you know what I mean? Like like a singer would. What, so you want to try it with that thought in mind?
Something like where like the vibrato starts on the overslur.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. The other kind of fun thought for me is, you know, I was, you know, I kind of composed this with Ableton. So sometimes I'm thinking of these notes as if they were different types of drum sounds. So like a group of notes is a cymbal crash. And you know, and then you can kind of like pull against the rhythm in certain parts. Do you want to just try that? Like, what is the cymbal? You know, then you can have a lot of fun with it. Why don't you try from pickup to 9? Woo! Yes, yes. I personally, that was awesome. So here it is. So by the way, here's the whole piece. That's the whole piece. You can see it in one go. This section right here is the B section. You can see my little cursor. And by the way, the way that got recorded was it was the bass line first. The bass line was actually the first thing that existed. I don't know if you can hear that. So I created this like, and then I was like, oh, what if there was like a. So honestly, those rhythms are important, but they're not that important. So in other words, again, it's not like ticky 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 ticky, but like more like like. You know what I mean? So it's almost like I had this great coaching with Mark Steinberg from the Brentano Quartet, and we were playing the Brahms third string quartet, fourth movement. And there's a section where the viola has like this part. So the main theme is, and the viola has a kind of variation on that idea.
Oh, yeah.
And what Mark said was that this is not, you're not trying to play jado-di, but this is like the fog coming out of the theme. So this is kind of what's happening here. And sometimes thinking about things very musically like that and texturally can actually help technically. I think there's this feeling that when you're playing high, you have to, the bow, it's difficult for this hand, or it's uncomfortable, it's different. So then the bow starts to go like, and if you can find the perfect contact point so that it just kind of like sings out, I think that'll help a lot. You want to try that? Ah. Yes. Yes. Great. So can you just find that note? Yes. And then just repeat that note a few times and just look for the spot. Look for the bow spot as opposed to. Ah, there it is. Yeah. Can you go from the G, go back to the G and hit that? Yes. And something that might also help, that's gorgeous when you hit that C, as opposed to going down, up, down. You might consider just mapping out your bow a little bit. Down, down, up.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I found it really challenging to like playing out the sextuplets in rhythm is
Yeah.
quite difficult.
They're
Yeah.
like little bird ruffles. Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes, yeah. But you're kind of like, because it's kind of like the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto meets